So they are a part of the delusion.
Yeah,
So,
I have a friend. She is French and he is from the southern India.
okay,
They have two sons, and one
okay.
of the sons got married a year ago. And so, but they absolutely wanted to have an elephant for the marriage.
Oh,
But in the little town where they are, it what they couldn't get the permit for the elephant. So they moved the whole wedding to another town where they could have an elephant.
it is crazy.
So will Bavia have an elephant?
No, no elephant, no elephant. Only a big ferry, or what you say.
Yeah.
They
I
are.
mean,
Did you check it? I'll send you that. But all this is
you read it. Yeah,
delusion.
I saw it. Oh, if they cannot afford an elephant, maybe they could afford a rat, you know?
Yeah, they can afford a
Woo,
rat, or
that's much easier.
they can put a wooden elephant. It's
Oh,
all
that
symbol.
too. And the
It's all symbol.
wooden rat.
What marriage has to do with a rat or elephant or a fairy or a white dress or a black dress or red dress? It's a part of the ritual, symbolic. But question is, if the mind is clear inside, these symbol works. And if the mind is not clear, then these symbol creates more problem. You see that, I went there to have an elephant in the marriage, and after that I divorced. So that is, I take it easy. I take it easy. So delusion hides the real self, and it remove it by discovering the inner peace. That is very important in life. So what we say that existence, consciousness, bliss. So this existence is consciousness. That is what the real self is. And this real self remains the same after days, weeks, months, and years. We have been passing through waking, dream, sleep every day for days, weeks, months, years, but that consciousness which recognizes I am, even I change my body shape, size, but still I am. That I am is different from the body. That I am is different from the past. I was a baby, and then I grew up, then I had a gray beard, but I am the same. I am not the body. The body changes, mind changes, intellect changes, ego changes, but there is something in me, something within, that is known as the real self that never changes. And that is known as existence, that is known as consciousness, because it never changes. So it means it is not influenced by the outer situation, people, think, body. Hence, it is of the nature of bliss. It is of the nature of permanent happiness.
So what's the difference between consciousness and awareness? I mean,
Yes,
is it a
awareness is a manifestation of consciousness. I'm talking to you. Mouses cannot talk to you consciously. That is what you say there. I'm talking to you means that with that awareness, I'm expressing that consciousness.
hmm,
You are
okay.
listening to me. Yes, you are listening through the awareness which is manifesting, which is a manifestation of the one consciousness. And the magic is that consciousness there and consciousness here is the same.
Mhm.
Like the space in your room and the space in my house is the same. You cannot say there are two spaces. You cannot use the word plural.
Oh, yeah.
So the moment we express through the mind that there you are, here I am, is a delusion. My body is here, your body is there, but we are one consciousness. Like one space, like one space, like one consciousness. And it is because of this consciousness we love ourselves the most. We love ourselves the most. We love our son or the kid because we love ourselves the most. We love honey because we love ourselves. We love our house because we love ourselves. So that is why we say that consciousness is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. You merge them all together. They are manifestation. Love is manifestation. Peace is manifestation. Awareness is manifestation. So you bring them all together. It is one consciousness. And that consciousness is known as the real self. We understand intellectually, but we need to discover this real self to awaken to our true nature. And once we awaken to our true nature, it brings an end to all the suffering. It brings an end to all the suffering. That is the goal of mindfulness, meditation, Eastern wisdom, kundalini, or what normally in our country people say new age movement. Not hippie movement, new age.
Okay.
They have given a new phrase, but ultimately it is the same thing. I love myself because I am the source of love. And that I am is consciousness. You cannot love, which is the source of suffering. That is why we love ourselves the most. Let me repeat it again. I love myself the most because that real self is the source of love, peace, happiness. If if I am the source of suffering, pain, and frustration, how can I love myself the most? Look at it. That is why we say, that is why we say, discovery of the real self is the goal of the human life. Now, see, human life has two goals fundamentally. You can do one goal, they choose to have pleasures of all kinds from the world. What is that pleasure? Pleasure simply means I'm seeking something outside, one, and I project happiness there. I am seeking mouse, but at the same time, I project happiness on the mouse. So what it means? Then I have to make a run. I'm running to acquire, possess the mouse. And when the mouse comes to me, and I see the pleasure is gone, I marry, and I projected happiness in the marriage. After marriage, gone. I see on the TV ad, oh, such a beautiful dress. Where I can find it in cold, and I go there, I buy it, I wear it. Oh, there is some pleasure for a day or two, and after that, I throw them into my closet. Who remembers? Pleasure is gone. So if we understand what is happening in our mind and how this mind creates this delusion of happiness outside, which I cannot get it, then there is a possibility that we can discover ourselves. You see, we are not talking of religion, we are not talking of God, we are not talking of goddess. That is the real journey of the East and West. We are not talking of elephant, we are not talking of rat. Now, before we understand this delusion, understand for an example. Is the house covers the space or the space covers the house? The walls of the home and the house cannot be covered by the space. Space remains as it is. One thing. And second thing, oh, where is your house? I'm in Princeton. Where is your house? I'm in Gilbert. What is happening? It is a space, but I hide the space and I say it is my house. Fact is that this space cannot be removed. If there is no space, there is no house. Right?
Yeah. So
with the shape and the size hides the consciousness. And we say you are in the space, the shape and the size. Consciousness is hidden. And I say it is Girish. Come on. That is the delusion. That is why we fail in seeing and knowing the real self. It is hidden. It is still here and now. It is here and now. It cannot go away. It cannot be destroyed. The truth cannot be destroyed. Consciousness or existence cannot be destroyed. Cannot be removed at any point of time. Neither in the past, nor in the present, in the future. That is why we say the real self is all pervading. That is why I say it is infinite. That is why we say it is eternal. That is why we say it is imminent. We are all pervading, infinite, imminent, eternal consciousness. But because of the delusion, we say that I am Anne, I'm Girish, I'm Michael, and I'm David. So when I become David, I identify myself with the body. Body is constantly changing. Body cannot live in the state of the well-being and the health all the time. So when the body suffers, I feel that I am suffering. But fact is that I'm not suffering. When I say I'm 60 years old, I have measured what I measured. Measurement.
You have measured.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the measurement? When I say I am 60 years old, so I have a measurement in time. But who is measured in time? It is the body, not the consciousness. So I'm in delusion. I'm consciousness, I'm not the body. And then the society conditioning runs after the mind. Oh, you are 60 years old, 70. Oh, you have 5 years to become a senior. Oh my goodness. That I'm old. No, I cannot do this. So again, I have a measurement. I can do this, I cannot do this. Consciousness has to do nothing. I am pure consciousness. I am the real self. Because I identify myself. I am not the body at all, but I identify. So that identification means I'm attached. I give more importance. I give a label of I am to the body, to the mind, to the intellect, to the ego, to the possessions. When you give identifications to the possessions, what becomes? The person is known as rich, like Bill Gates. But can possession makes you rich? That is why Bill Gates lived loveless life for 27 years. Not we use the name Bill Gates to make us understand because we are ordinary people. If we give our example, nobody will understand. Nobody will pay notice.
Mm.
And then some people will say, okay, let me become rich and then I will let me live my loveless life. So they are more crazy than Bill Gates. Because I don't want to understand. I want to suffer. So why I talked about measurement. Where there is a measurement, there is ignorance. Where there is no measurement, there is knowledge. You see? First, we understand the measurement. So, what is the measurement? Measurement in time, now and then. Measurement with object, this and that. Measurement with the space, here and there. And the mind is deluded by these three types of measurement, and it identifies with I am, and that lives in limitation of space, time, and object, and then we suffer. That is the only thing we have to understand in meditation. If you have clear understanding and the mind holds on to the knowledge without measurement, you have already realized the real self. We cannot work without measurement as a matter of convenience, but we should not bring that measurement inside. We should become aware. You want to learn, you want to understand about measurement. Today is Wednesday, tomorrow is Thursday measurement. Your house is in Princeton, my house is in Gilbert, measurement. I am n number years old, you are another number of years old. Measurement. I have beard, you don't have. We cannot talk without measurement, and that because the mind is obsessed with this measurement that brings comparison, conflict, and confusion, we hide the knowledge and we are gone. And there is nothing in the journey of purpose. So, purpose of life is to enjoy, have all kinds of pleasure, frustrate yourself, and live into the conflict, loveless life. That is one path of enjoyment. That is what we say eat, drink, and be merry. And then what happens? Eat, drink, and be merry. A couple returned home, and the husband started drinking vodka, 5 glasses, 5 pegs. And then he looked at his wife. He said, honey, beautiful girl, can you take me to my house? They are already sitting in their house. This is what happens when we follow, eat, drink, and be merry. The other path is the path to discover my real self. First, to discover it, know that peace, happiness, love, and wisdom are within me, and allow that to manifest through awareness in my thoughts, speech, and action. I have achieved the highest state of mindfulness. I live in the state of meditation 24 by 7. Done. Not necessarily we are talking, we are suffering from chronic anxiety and depression. People say, I have a split personality. You recognize now, by birth we have a split personality. What do they say? By birth. When the person leaves our house, we say, I hated that person, I wanted to tell you. So the hatred was inside, and outside, yeah, we were superficially welcoming. We are born with that. How beautiful it is. So let us go beyond the measurement and go into the practice. Eyes are closed.
Okay.
Eyes are
I a little bit.
closed. And